All right, day 30 of 30 of the challenge to vlog every day for 30 days. I made it. Um, it's not too bad actually. 30 days kind of flew by, and it's been kind of a little fun challenge to record and share ideas. It'll be interesting how um, my thoughts change as I look over this in a few years from now. Um, I have a list of topics I was going to talk about. I was going to do one on depression because that's like a big issue in society today. Um, I read a couple interesting books on that. But I was kind of thinking of like the overall theme that has existed in the last 30 days of these videos that I've been doing. And the general theme amongst all of it is really just like how do you live a happy, healthy, fulfilled life? Something that every human has, throughout human history, has strived to do in one way, shape, or form. And I think as the world has become more um, has kind of less believed in the supernatural and more in kind of like a scientific approach to life, the question has become even more important because as you lose your belief in higher powers, it in some ways makes it more difficult to form meaning and whatnot in your life. And yeah, I guess there's no better kind of model than the Stoics and Stoic philosophy. I read a book. I think this was in a previous video. I mentioned this book. It's called "A Guide to a Good Life," "A Guide to the Good Life: The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy." I'll just kind of go through a few of my notes and kind of comment on a few things. So, a philosophy of life. What do you do? Why do you do it? How do you react to different joys and lows in life? Over 2,000 years ago, the Stoics, from Seneca to Marcus Aurelius, took a stab to deep down figure out how to build a philosophy of life. Today, it holds true now more than uh, it holds true now as it did then, perhaps even more so. Um, the author just kind of went through so many things, but it's like, like, how do you, how, in a modern day, if the overall goal is to help people live better lives, you would think it's like all relative, right? But the Stoics kind of figured out a way that they can apply this like philosophy to anybody. Um, it's not really a belief system, but more so a rationale for what causes suffering and joy in life. It is more than anything mindfulness, simply becoming more aware of ourselves and our reactions instead of simply relying on our evolutionary instincts. I think it's like a really worthwhile read, but one of the biggest takeaways is this idea of like hedonic adaptation. Um, and I've always kind of thought like I had the topic of abundance and how anything abundant loses its value. The Stoics suggest overcoming it by contemplating the bad things that can happen at any given moment and avoid taking the current life for granted. So by contemplating the bad things that can happen at any moment to avoid taking the current life for granted, or what they always called negative visualization. So it's kind of like using negative visualization to actually like not take for granted the present moment. Um, we need to firmly keep in mind that everything we value and the people we love will someday be lost to us. If nothing else, our own death will deprive us of them. In other words, when the Stoics counsel us to live each day as if it were our last, their goal is not to change our activities, but to change our state of mind as we carry out those activities. So, I mean, that's kind of the short of that. But I kind of think there's just a few core foundational things that we need to do in our lives to live good lives, live good, long, happy, healthy, meaningful, connected lives. Um, and I think it's like a big game to play as well. As I said from day one, there's better and worse ways of playing the game. And the better we treat ourselves, the better we're able to treat other people and help improve their lives. So, first one is health. What does it mean to be healthy? I mean, that's a long conversation, but taking care of your body and your mind, treating your body and mind right. I think the mind and the body are one. The better you are physically, the better you're going to be mentally. Um, continually trying to improve on those fronts. The second thing, and that includes sleep as well. Sleep is like I had a video on sleep. Sleep is just so important. The second thing is having something that you're waking up every day doing that kind of challenges you, that is kind of part of your identity in your life, whether that's waking up and lifting weights, whether that's waking up and going to work, whether that's waking up and building a new project, as an entrepreneur, whether that's waking up and, working on solving world hunger, whatever it is that you're waking up and doing, you need to have something that gets you out of bed every morning and motivating you to do to do something. For most people, that's their work. For other people, it's their hobby. For other people, that's taking care of their kids, whatever it is. Third thing is being socially connected. I think we evolved to live in tribes and be around people and be with lots of people. Even if you don't feel like it, it makes sense to just connect with people, share ideas. I think if you don't communicate with somebody, like if you just like locked away in a prison cell in solitary confinement, I think within like a week you start going insane. Like there's stories of people within like a couple months you can start forgetting how to speak, and it's just like shows the importance of how important it is to just communicate with people, share your emotions, share ideas, learn from each other, all this stuff. If you have everything else going right in life, but you're missing the having friends or family in your life that you feel care about you and that you actually care about, it's just like fundamentally important to human nature. Um, yeah, so like having those three, and then like having something where you can actually see progress, right? Like the hedonic adaptation thing is like where every time you get to some point in your life where you think it was what you wanted, you get there, and eventually it's good for a little while, but then eventually you want something else. And that's like it's a never-ending thing in life of like just continually going and progressing. And I think progress is like a fundamental part of our lives. Like if you look over your life, you want to see that you're better off now than you were a year ago, better off now than you were 5 years ago. And if you don't see that, you're typically kind of dissatisfied with your life. So I think it's important to have progress. So yeah, I think all of those are incredibly important. Those obviously it doesn't guarantee you're going to live a happy, healthy life, but it at least puts you on the right path. I think, like I mentioned in another video, all you can do is play the probability game, and there's certainly better and worse ways of maximizing your well-being. Um, and there's no exact right formula, but all you can do is kind of put these steps in place, and I think these are the steps. Um, and I can't speak for everybody, but they've worked for me, and the ideas I've shared have been useful in my life and have worked for me in terms of living the kind of life that I want to live. So yeah, overall, this 30-day challenge was kind of fun. Um, I think posting a video every day is probably a little bit too much. I think it would be more interesting to do some sort of research or on a topic and talk about it more in depth, or do more like book reviews, or have conversations with different people that I've met. I can't think of the number of times I've had like a really awesome conversation with somebody where I wish it was recorded that I could actually like re-listen to it or share it with others, because I've had so many awesome conversations with so many awesome, cool people that I think it's kind of cool to record it and share it. And I think that's one of the reasons why podcasts have become so big now. It's just cool listening to two people that are like-minded share an idea or to communicate an idea. I think it's very educational and informative and entertaining and insightful, enlightening. Um, yeah, I think it's kind of a fun challenge, and I think I've learned a little bit about how to do a little bit, how to talk to a camera, talk to a phone, talk to a piece of technology. It's it's an interesting thing. I've also done a little bit of traveling over the last month, which has made my schedule a little bit sporadic, where I'm sitting like I am now in bed at 11 p.m. finishing up my vlog so I can complete the challenge. I think I could have done a better job at kind of recording it first thing in the morning or midday or something. But overall, I was able to complete the challenge, 30 days. Um, I'll post in the description all of the links to the previous videos if you're interested. Um, Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any comments or feedback or ideas or anything, shoot me a message or leave a comment. Um, Thanks for watching, and that will be it for the 30-day challenge. All the best.